Tonight is a brand new episode of WWE Friday Night SmackDown on the USA Network. It is the Survivor Series go-home show with less than 24 hours until Survivor Series and the men's and women's War Games matches, plus much more. With that being said, could Paul Triple H Levesque and his creative team have some major surprises up their sleeve? We're going to let you know 5 possible major surprises that could take place tonight live on WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Tonight, it's a brand new episode of WWE Friday Night SmackDown on USA Network in the United States, and of course, streaming live on Netflix internationally. The show is emanating from the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, and it's 24 hours until WWE Survivor Series taking place in San Diego, California at Petco Park, and of course, the War Games matches. But on tonight's go-home episode of SmackDown, there is plenty that's already been announced as we continue the Last Time Is Now tournament. We've got a traditional Survivor Series match, plus we're going to find out who gets the advantage in the Women's War Games match at Survivor Series, plus much more. So we're going to let you know 5 possible major surprises that could take place. Let's begin with that Women's War Games match. We found out Monday night on Raw who's going to have the advantage on the men's side of things, as Logan Paul pinned Jimmy Uso in that tag team match on Monday Night Raw, and we know that the heels have the advantage, Team Vision, but are the baby faces or the heels going to have the advantage on the women's side of things? That's what we're going to find out. Let's just say there's some history between these competitors in this one. Which team needs the advantage more heading into War Games? Certainly that's an intriguing thought, isn't it? It could be Rhea Ripley's squad. Asuka and Kairi Sane have proven they will do what it takes to get what they want. The same could be said for Nia Jax and Lash Legends. Becky Lynch, she says she's the greatest women's wrestler in WWE history. And that's not just her saying it. It's all of these different outlets, Sports Illustrated, ESPN, and much more. So we're going to be getting the same thing we had Monday night on Raw. We're going to be getting this advantage match. Now, as of right now, the competitors who are going to be competing in this one on SmackDown this evening have yet to be named. Similarly to how we had that Monday night on Raw, where it was announced during the show that, of course, Logan Paul would be teaming up with Drew McIntyre to take on the Usos. And Logan Paul, of course, was victorious. And then the show ended in a complete brawl. It was last week's episode of SmackDown where it was revealed that Becky Lynch would be on the heel side of things and AJ Lee would be on the babyface side of things. AJ Lee was unveiled as the last member by Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. But as that was happening, you then had Lash Legend, Nia Jax, the Kabuki Warriors attack the 4 that were already in the ring, and then as AJ Lee seemingly was about to make the save, out came Becky Lynch, and she attacked her rival that has cost her the Women's Intercontinental Championship, something she says that her lawyers are working on at the moment. So, similarly to Raw, I would think we'd probably get some form of tag team match. Now, yes, Monday night on Raw, we didn't get Brock Lesnar competing, we didn't get Roman Reigns competing, we didn't get CM Punk competing, we didn't get Cody Rhodes competing, and I think it's probably going to be something similar here. On the heel side of things, I don't think Becky Lynch is going to be competing in this one. So I think the likelihood is we get one of the tag teams that's on the heel side of things, whether that's Lash Legend and Nia Jax, who seemingly are a tag team now on SmackDown. And then, of course, you've got the Kabuki Warriors, who are the women's tag team champions. And then on the babyface side of things, unless it's not going to be AJ Lee. AJ Lee's only had one match. That was at WrestlePalooza. I don't think they're at that point just yet where they're going to be giving AJ Lee matches away for free on WWE television, particularly 24 hours before she steps into the double cage at War Games. I think they're still taking it very steady with her. We still don't really know physically where she's at. Of course, she's in fantastic shape and she looked like she hadn't missed a beat. She actually had her longest match of her career at WrestlePalooza when she teamed with her husband CM Punk to defeat the other husband and wife tag team of Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. But I don't think AJ Lee's going to compete tonight on SmackDown. If she was, I think they would have advertised it much ahead of time, so I don't think that's not going to happen. So I think we could have a situation, if they really wanted to make it interesting, you could have a rematch for the Women's Tag Team Championships, couldn't you? You could have the Kabuki Warriors defend the Women's Tag Team Championships against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. The winners not only get the Women's Tag Team titles, but also the advantage at War Games. Talk about elevating the stakes there. Again, if they do go in that direction, I think the best choice would have been to advertise that and not wait until the show. So I have to see. As far as who gets the advantage, sometimes the easiest rationale is just to do the opposite of what's already happened. So on the men's side of things, the heels have the advantage. So maybe on the babyface side of things, they have the advantage here. Or you could just have both of the heels having the advantage. I mean, you could have a situation whereby, look, if the heels have the advantage, you've got powerhouses in that team. You've got Lash Legends. You've got Nia Jax. They could absolutely demolish, whether it's against Io Sky or someone that would probably start the match. You're looking at maybe an Io Sky or a Rhea Ripley, maybe an Alexa Bliss, someone that can go the distance. So that's certainly one to consider. So if I had to predict, I'm going to go with the baby faces get the advantage just because they've already done the heels getting the advantage on the male side of things, but you never know. Certainly anything's possible, but my prediction is I'm going to go with the baby faces to get the advantage. Now, before we move on to the next number on this countdown list, a reminder, this video is brought to you in collaboration with all of our great affiliates. That includes NordVPN. Today is Friday the 28th of November, and that should be a special date. Why? Because it's Black Friday. With Black Friday comes deals, discounts, and you can take advantage of that. As I mentioned, tomorrow, it is Survivor Series. It is War Games. It's one of WWE's biggest PLEs of the year. Of course, we will be live with a watch-along, with a post-show. We'll be streaming it live, but you can watch along with us, not only via our stream, but your Netflix subscription. That's right. Even if you're in the United States and you go, oh, and I've got to get ESPN and I can't afford to pay for another streaming service. The holidays are coming up. It's just been Thanksgiving. There's Christmas. I've got to get presents, gifts, trips. How am I going to afford that? I'll tell you how. How about you consolidate all of your WWE viewing experience to one Netflix subscription? Say goodbye to USA Network. Say goodbye to the CW. Say goodbye to ESPN. Say goodbye to Peacock. And you can do that. All you need to do is get a VPN. You can use NordVPN. Scan our QR code or use our custom link. That's nordvpn.com/WN365. Once again, that's nordvpn.com/WN365. You can get up to 77% off plus 3 months extra if you're in the United States. If you're around the world, discounts still apply. Considerable discounts still apply. So don't think you've been left out. Then you can change your location to an international territory like here in the UK or around Europe. Then sign into your Netflix. You get Raw, SmackDown, NXT, main roster PLEs, including Survivor Series, and also NXT PLEs, including Deadline. No more Peacock. Speaking of Peacock, you get John Cena's retirement show, Saturday Night's Main Event next month, for free. Over here in the UK, we get Saturday Night's Main Event for free. We watch it on YouTube, and you can too. Get NordVPN, use our link, save yourself some money, and support this channel in the process. Next up, we've got the Last Time Is Now tournament, and we're going to have Jey Uso facing off against Rusev. Jey Uso, it's Thanksgiving week, and maybe he's had turkey and everything else in between, and he's still got a lot on his plate as he prepares to enter War Games in just 24 hours' time with the likes of Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Jimmy Uso. But on Friday, today, he must turn his focus to Rusev, who is trying to dominate his way to his long-awaited rematch with John Cena in John Cena's retirement match at Saturday Night's Main Event on December 13th. Now we know the bracket for the Last Time Is Now tournament. That's been revealed. The winner of Uso versus Rusev will advance to the semi-finals, and they'll face the winner of the other Last Time Is Now tournament match on SmackDown this evening, which we'll talk about in just a bit. Now, it's quite interesting because on the other side of things, we've got a heel versus heel match in the semi-final. Now, logically, you would think that the final is going to be Gunther versus a babyface. Given their history, you would suspect it's probably going to be Gunther versus Jey Uso in the final. They've got that long history over, the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey Uso tapped out Gunther at WrestleMania. Gunther then won the World Heavyweight Championship back not long after that, just a few weeks later. So I think we're building up to probably a Jey Uso versus Gunther final. So that would say to me that Jey Uso wins this one. Rusev, there's been all the chatter, hasn't there, about when he's in AEW. Miro didn't want to do jobs, this, that, and the other. That's not been the case in WWE. He's already done quite a few jobs. So this one's going to be interesting, but I'm going to go with Jey Uso to advance to the semi-finals. Speaking of that other match, we've got yet another mystery opponent, don't we? In the Last Time Is Now tournament, we've seen the returns to WWE for one night only of Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler. And this evening, seemingly we're going to find out someone else. Now, this is a little bit, changing around a little bit, but LA Knight has the opportunity to move one step closer to the biggest match of his career. Many fans have wanted the megastar to have more opportunities at the top of the card in WWE, and certainly a clash with John Cena in Cena's final match would certainly qualify as that. Now, his mystery opponent also figures to have something to prove, especially if the motivation is to revisit his own rivalry with the greatest of all time. There's been a lot of speculation, hasn't there, that maybe it's going to be The Miz is going to be this mystery opponent. Maybe it's not going to be someone like Matt Cardona / Zack Ryder. Of course, we'll have to wait and see. It's unlikely to be Dolph Ziggler. It's going to be another mystery opponent. Of course, it comes after WWE announced that Sheamus unfortunately had to withdraw from the tournament due to a shoulder injury. Knight defeated the returning Zack Ryder on SmackDown to advance. He'll now have to wait again to see who he's going to be facing in the next round of the tournament. There's been rumours, as I've said, it's going to be The Miz, and that's led to a lot of people going, oh, it's going to be The Miz. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, let's say it was The Miz. Does it really matter all that much? That is what I would say. Does it really matter? Because if LA Knight's going to win, and I think he does, then maybe it is worth it just being The Miz, and that's the closest that Miz is going to get with a match with John Cena in this retirement tour. Of course, they do have quite a lengthy history, trading the WWE Championship, main eventing WrestleMania. You can't argue that there isn't history there. Would it be a letdown? Probably in the case of it's not really that much of a mystery, I think, because WWE has established these mystery opponents as being from like another company. That is what people want to see, or people returning to WWE. The Miz, it doesn't really scratch the itch. As far as who else though could it be, I don't really know. I don't really know who else that could actually be. So I guess maybe it is going to be The Miz. Maybe WWE throws a curveball, I suppose. We could maybe see about that. But LA Knight, I'm going to advance in that one. We also have this 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. And I tell you what, I'm absolutely thrilled about this. I'm thrilled that there is a Survivor Series elimination match taking place over Survivor Series weekend. Don't get me wrong, War Games is great, and people like War Games matches, even though it does feel like we're at the point where these other gimmick pay-per-views are at, same as like Hell in a Cell or Elimination Chamber, whereby, okay, we're going to have, you guessed it, a War Games match. Suddenly, once you get to November, everyone starts putting teams together and starts challenging teams to War Games matches. Why? Is it because they've got a war to settle? No, it's just because War Games is coming up, right? It feels a bit too formulaic. I love that the Survivor Series matches are coming back because I'm a big fan, because if done right, you can have some of the greatest matches in WWE history, and we're going to get one on SmackDown, and I hope this match is so good it makes WWE reconsider for next year. Now, of course, we've got this traditional Survivor Series elimination match. It's Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Rey Fenix, and the Motor City Machine Guns versus Solo Sikoa and his MFTs. Now, Solo has tried to re-establish himself as the leader of his family after the Bloodline saga. He's built quite a faction, hasn't he? Tama Tonga, JC Mateo, Tonga Loa, and Tala Tonga. But they're going to have to go toe-to-toe with an impressive lineup of former singles champions and tag team champions. The question is, who scores the victory in this Survivor Series elimination match? I think the MFTs win this one, depending on how things go. I think you could have a scenario whereby I think the way that these Survivor Series matches work best is when you have a big numerical disadvantage. So perhaps there is a scenario whereby the MFTs are 3-1 up, 4-1 up, and let's say it's just Sami Zayn left, or maybe it's a highlighting spot for Rey Fenix or someone like that, and that's the only person left on the babyface side of things, and there's absolutely no chance, and then Rey Fenix gets a schoolboy roll-up on one, it's down to 3-1, then he hits his finisher on another, it's down to 2-1, then somehow he defeats someone else, it's down to 1-1, and maybe that's when Solo Sikoa runs in, Samoa and Spike 1-2-3, the MFTs win, but it's a huge spotlight moment for someone like Rey Fenix or someone like Sami Zayn. So I'm going to go with the MFTs to win this, just purely because they're the actual faction. And I think whenever an actual legitimate faction that's meant to be together and a unit all the time losing these kind of matches to a team that's kind of a hodgepodge just made up of lots of different people, I don't think that really makes the faction look good. How can they be this dominant force if they lose when they're all teaming together? That doesn't look great. There could have been a scenario whereby it was the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six in this elimination match, and I'm kind of surprised they didn't go in that direction, considering they teased it for a while. Maybe you'll see the Wyatt Six come out afterwards. Maybe that will get added to Survivor Series. You never know. It's currently, I think, a 4-match card. Usually, Triple H goes with a 5, but because of the War Games matches lasting so long, it does make sense it'd be a 4-match card. So I'm going to go with the heels to win this one, although I think one of the baby faces is going to get that kind of spotlight moment. And finally, will we hear, inevitably we will, from the American Nightmare, the undisputed WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes, after everything that's been happening when it comes to the men's War Games match. You think we'll probably hear from the American Nightmare. We should get some appearances. It hasn't been advertised yet, but we should get some appearances from the Vision as well, likely a Paul Heyman. We saw Monday night on Raw, didn't we, that in-ring promo segment between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes, and reports have suggested that that might have been a bit of a teaser as to what's to come when it comes to a WrestleMania main event, that Roman Reigns is going to challenge for either the undisputed WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship, considering they've done Cody versus Roman twice already in the main event of WrestleMania, technically 3 times if you include the tag match with The Rock, but certainly a singles match, WrestleMania 39, WrestleMania 40. I don't think there is the appetite for a trilogy. I think the story's been told. It doesn't need to be finished again. So I think it looks like we're going towards CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship on one night. I still say that Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes as a potential main event of the other night for the WWE Championship. They've held off it for so long. I think that could be the other direction, particularly if we see a Randy Orton return, maybe at Survivor Series. Save that for the Survivor Series return video. So I think Cody does his natural stuff. Maybe CM Punk is there. I don't think we get a Roman Reigns appearance. I don't think we get a Brock Lesnar appearance. Maybe we get a Brock appearance. That's entirely possible at the end of the show. Maybe an F5 to close things out. But I think we'll probably hear from Paul Heyman. Maybe it's just an in-ring segment with Cody and Punk or Cody and Heyman. I can see something like that happening. So I expect to hear from the undisputed WWE Champion, the American Nightmare. So there you go, guys. There are 5 possible major surprises that could take place night live on WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Of course, the Survivor Series go-home edition of the show. What are your thoughts? What are your predictions? What are your opinions? What are your hot takes? Let me know, as always, in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And I'll speak to you all very, very soon.